Hi, and welcome to our Make It Monday Live. So today I'm going to be showing you the shaker card technique. We talked about this at my anniversary party and decided that we had too much else to talk about, that I would show that on our Monday Live event. So I'm really excited to bring that to you. I love the colors that we're working with. Shaker cards just give you that wow factor. And you know when you send this card to someone that they are going to know you put a lot of thought and care into making that card for them. So I hope you join me. Please be sure and leave a comment. Please share this with your friends. That not only helps them, but it will help me as well. And I appreciate that. I did forget to do a drawing for our last Monday Live, and I apologize for that. So I will be doing one after this event for next week. So every comment that you make goes into the drawing. So let me know what you're thinking, if you're enjoying it, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts. If you have any ideas that you would like to see me demonstrate, that would be helpful as well. That always helps to know what things you're interested in. So I appreciate that. All right, so I think it looks like we are ready to get started. So let me flip over to my other camera and let's talk about this. So this is the card that I want to show you. It's going to look just a little bit different. I'm actually using this paper is from our kit. It's in the front of the Occasions catalog, and January through June now we call it, but it's called You Are Amazing, and it comes with this sweet little box. It has the cutest cards in it, and I showed them all on the live, so I'm not going to show that to you now, so you can go there and see that video. It is recorded, so you can watch that in the event, in the 25th anniversary event, so please be sure to go there. It's also on YouTube if you're watching YouTube. I have it posted there as well. So I'm going to show you how to do the shaker component to this. I'm also going to show you the coloring just because I think sometimes I hate to color on camera, but I just love how our blends look with this card. And if that's not the cutest snail you've ever seen, I don't know. The snails we have around here are very ugly. Trust me, this one's cute. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I do have these cut out already, so I'm going to go ahead and color those. I typically do not cut first because it's a little harder to hold on to, but because of camera time, I am going to do that. I don't want that to glare in your eyes the whole time. Okay, so the colors that I'm using are Mango Melody, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, and light or peacock, Pretty Peacock. I dropped one of them, so there we go. So, oh, I guess I got to get those in the camera. I am going to adjust this here because I feel like, well, I guess I can't. Okay. I feel like I'm very much over here. Maybe it's my camera. Maybe my camera needs to move a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. I apologize for all that movement, but I don't like crooked things, and I also want to make sure that I'm in the screen. Okay, so just to recap, I'm using this stamp set as well as the one from the project kit, which is You Are Amazing. So you'll see I did do the stamp here in Pretty Peacock, and then I embossed it once it was dry. I had to let it sit for a little bit to dry, and it does take a while when you have a solid stamp like this, quite a while. I didn't even leave it long enough because I have a few white speckles on my one. And then I embossed it with white with the happy birthday from this set. So those are the two sets I'm using. Just a little bit from that one. But the Snailed It Bundle, you know I love this bundle. You've seen it already. But I am using it for the shaker card. So you have to see it again. It's just so cute. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to, let's start with the yellow, and this is how I color. I will just give you some step-by-steps. I usually start with the light, and I basically am going to just give an all-over color with this light one. And then I will come in with the dark and do some shading. And so I've got spots down here, and usually on the bottom is where I do most of my shading. So I'm going to throw in a bunch of color there. Try to just, I have used this pretty hard and it's getting a little bit, the tip's getting a little rough. I'd like this up here to be a little darker, so I'm going to just come up here and add. And then I'm going to put a little bit of shading here. All right, now I'm going to come right back in, it's still wet, and I'm going to just blend that edge out. Can you see how that's blending away? I don't want that edge to show, and that's what's cool about these blender pens, is you can get rid of any marks as long as you're doing it while it's still a little bit wet. And it's alcohol, so it's going to dry fast, but how cool is that? How quick and easy to create something that really has some pretty shading to it. And I may just zoom you in just a hair more just so that you can see. Okay. Hopefully you can see that shading. I might shade it just a little extra heavy just so that on camera you can see it a little bit more. I'm just going to come down here and add a little bit more color to his belly. And I don't need to shade that too much. But I really want that white space in here so that it looks shiny and he looks round, okay? While I'm using yellow, let's head and come in here, and I'm just going to make the inside here. I think I saw somebody color it this way and I just loved it. It really helps that, I don't know, it just shows a little better when these little bands in here are a different color than the actual belly. And I'm not going to shade much. There's not a lot of call to shade anything in there because it's so tiny, okay? Not worth spending time on. And then I'm going to do the light Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to do one section at a time because, like I said, I like to work with it while it's still wet. So I'm just going to fill in one of those. Then I'll come in and I'll do some shading at the edges. And I do want to definitely get that to the edge. It doesn't look nice if you have white space there. So I do try to get that dark in there to the edge. Like I said, it is a little harder to hold on to this when you have already cut it out. But okay, now I'm still using my light. It's because I blended it. So I'm going to come in here and go ahead and use my light and fill in the next one. The nice thing is, if you didn't get enough color, you can come back and add it later. Come in here. This is like watching paint dry, right? When you watch somebody color. But if you're learning the technique, it's definitely helpful, and I don't like to skip that always just because too many people tell me that they don't use blends because they don't know how to use them. And I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine not having these in my life. They are my favorite way to color. And I don't think it takes a long time. I don't think it takes that much longer. It has that extra step, of course, if you're going to blend nicely, and that's the whole reason if you're going to spend the money for these markers, which I don't think they're expensive markers, but I used the wrong tip. I wanted to use the brush tip. I used to use that tip all the time, but I found that when I do this technique to dark, I don't have to use that tip. I find that the heavier tip is sometimes a different color, and I end up not getting the color that I want. So I don't know why it just lays down different. So I guess it's the same ink in there. It just comes out different with a different brush tip. So okay. And two more to go after this one. All right. Let's just get him all blended in there. Can you see how pretty that white is in there and how it makes it look round? It makes it look shiny, and it just gives it shape. Oh, I do want to... Oh, I almost forgot the center again. I forgot the center when I did my first one. Sometimes I don't clip those on tight while I'm working. I do always put the lid on. I can't stand watching somebody that doesn't close the lid. Like I said, these are alcohol markers and they will dry out for you really fast. That's why you hear that click when you close them. You definitely want to hear that click and make sure that they're closed. And let's go ahead and color this. Isn't he getting so pretty? And I'm just going to add a little shading here, maybe some there. There's no right or wrong about where the shade is. You know, if you're an artist, I'm sure you would disagree with that. But I have seen people do it every which way. And that if there's any type of shading, it's going to be pretty. Whether or not you have it where the light is shining properly on it or not. Okay? How cute is that? All right, now we do need to add a little bit of color to our little gift package up here that he's carrying on his back. So I'm going to start with my Pretty Peacock light and get that colored in. I'm going to come in with the dark. I'm going to shade around the edges. I'm trying to make this a little quicker, guys. And I'm slapping out the side, but that's okay because this is the bottom part. We're actually going to cut one out. And so if I mess this one up, it's not going to matter too much, right? Actually, I just need the edges on that one, so I'm not going to take too much time to color that. And then let's do the top one in the flamingo. And I don't think I'm going to take the time to shade that either. Let's do this one and I'll shade this one. Okay. Let's get some dark. And you'll see I take less time to shade when things are smaller because they just don't show up as much. It's not really as much use to spend time on those. And let's go ahead and do this again. Okay. And then and we'll blend. And we're almost done, guys. Hang in there. Just bringing those colors in. And oops, I ran out of the line, but that's okay. We're cutting that one out, so we're good. Okay, that's it for that. Let's get this cut out. And I'm going to actually snip off the little tie up here because we are going to tie, cording around there. So we're not going to, and I'm going to use the cording from the kit that I told you about. Totally Awesome, or your, what's it called? You Are Amazing. Okay. And I guess I do want to cut that the whole way out, don't I? What am I doing? Since I went outside the lines there, I'll go ahead and cut right to the line. Okay. All right. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm not going to cut that whole thing off because the cord is going to be there. So let's go ahead and get some dimensionals on here. Looks like I need some baby dimensionals in here. I'm not sure that's going to work. Let's go ahead and snip this in half first. And then I like these edges. I use them for tiny pieces when I need them. Not sure if I got that cut right. I want to put one up here on this, oops, cut the whole thing out. I want to put one on the top package too so that it doesn't like flap around. I hate when I pop things up and then part of it sags. Don't like saggy stuff, right? Okay, so that's going to go on there, but you know what? I want to stick that back on there because I want to tie my cording around there before I put that down. So let's go ahead and get him. We're going to put him on our shaker part. Okay, so let me get my ribbon tied on here first. Our dimension, I wanted the dimensionals on there first because they'll help to hold it in place. And then let's go ahead and stick him down here. Okay. Stay under there, buddy. I want it to stay lined up nice. And I might want to trim just a little more this white away here. Okay. Let me try to tie this on camera. You know how that goes, right? It's not easy tying on this tiny, tiny, tiny little package, but we'll get it. Let me make a loop-de-loop. Okay, there we go. All right, now we've got a ribbon on top of the package, and it matches our paper. All right, I think we're ready to put, we're going to do our shaker portion, and then we'll be ready to put everything together. So I want to show you how to, first I'm just throwing this in here with this card, how to do the baby wipe technique. So what I have here is a wet baby wipe. I folded it in fours, and I have put the 4 colors that we're working with today on here. So I have Pretty Peacock, and I put 5 drops of that, and then I put some Granny Apple Green, some Flirty Flamingo, and some Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to stamp my background for the card, and I'm just going to put this in one spot, tap it up and down, and hold it down here for a few seconds. And then I'm going to clean it off. I'm going to come back in and get another spot a few times, stamp it, and I'm lifting it up and down because I'm trying not to have those lines in there that you're seeing, so that I'm not exactly in the same spot every time I go down, but I am cleaning it off in between each one so that when I go to different colors I'm not making them completely muddy. And let me come over here and get some color. I want them to all look a little bit different, and they will because of the colors that are laid down depending on where they are. And let me just do a few more here. And I want to come over here. And one more. My colors have gotten just a little bit muddy because it's been, I've used this a couple of times, but you hate to waste it once you've put color down. You want to use it more than once. So isn't that pretty? Look how rainbow colored that is. And then it cleans up really easy, just goes in the trash, and voila, you're done. Okay, so this is the background of our shaker card. Let's go ahead and let me get rid of some things here. And I want to cut out just a couple things to put in our shaker. So I'm going to pull out my little shot here. And let's see. I have some of our glimmer paper. So I'm going to grab a couple of these dies and let's do one of these. I want mostly yellow, so I'll stick that there. And let me go ahead and do one of these tiny toadstools in the green. I think that'll work. Okay. That'll give us 2 things. Okay, so we got that, and we've got this one. And I like these inside pieces as well, because shaker cards are full of fun things. So I'm going to keep those. And if I can get them out. Okay. And let's see, I have one done already, and I have a white one. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's enough for inner shaker card. I'll add a few sequins as well. And just get our little pieces off of there. Okay. So we got that. Sorry for the noise. I just like noisy things. My husband says to me when I'm emptying the dishwasher, you know, like, why are you making, are you mad? I'm like, no, I don't know. Noise means things are happening, right? So noise is a good thing. Well, silence is also a good thing, but you know what I mean. Okay, so let's, the next thing that we're going to do, so I cut out with our rectangle framelets. So I put one on the inside and one on the outside so that I could create this cute little frame. And I also have a piece of our window sheet cut to fit that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to adhere this to here. So I'm going to use our really nice, got that off the edge, Seal Plus. And I must have gotten it off of the edge of the applicator, so then it's crooked. I usually can get this to go nice and straight, but you know, who knows, some days just don't go as well. Let's try this again now that I have it on well. Okay, I really want this to adhere good because I want nothing to leak out. I tell you what, if I don't make sure that's straight every time I start, oh, it's all right. Now, the only thing is when you touch this, sometimes you can't get your finger off without tearing it. So, all right, here we go again. I want to be right in the middle of that thing. And it's a little narrow. See what I mean? I'm really sticking to it. And so if I'm off the edge, I'm just going to fold this down so that the adhesive, it can still stick to itself, and it's not going to take away any stickiness, but it's also not going to be messy and sticking outside of my project. Let me just check around here. I thought I saw another spot. Yeah. When things are narrow like this, I don't enjoy trying to get adhesive straight because I like to just slop it on usually in the center of my card. All right, I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to place my window sheet. I think I have it almost cut to size. Oops, I bumped myself there. I can trim it off if I have to, but I don't really want to. Okay, there we go. All right, the next thing that I want to do now on the back here is I'm going to take our adhesive strips. You can use the sheets or the strips, and on my sample I used the sheets. On this one I'm going to show you the strips just because I think they're really easy to use and they're fun. Look at these long strips. How cool is that? So I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm going to put it sort of in the center of my green band, and I'm going to just snip and start again. So I'm just like putting that right up against the previous one. And you know what? If this isn't straight, it doesn't matter. It's not going to show. And then once again, just butting that right up against. Here's a piece. I'll go ahead and use that. You can use up all your pieces. That's just a little bit too long. And I need one more piece, and I don't think that one's long enough. So I will stick that one back on there and use one of these. And bring it down here and see if I can snip that exactly to size. There we go. All right, and those pieces stay on. I will reuse them at another time. Love this stuff. So happy it came out. It's a little taller than I think it's a little taller than the sheets. And that's probably a good thing because on my card, my things that I have inside it did not move very well because I had it probably a little too close. Now this is the background for this. This is going to go on here. So the next thing I want to do is get this prepared with all the things inside that I want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these all in here. And I'm going to turn those over. I don't know if it's going to matter. They may flip over and just be white anyways, but just in case, I'll turn them with the shiny side up. And then I am going to add a couple of our sequins. And, you know, the colors don't all match, but some of them do. The blues and the pinks will match. And so I don't think that it's going to look terrible, even if some of the other colors get in there. The light blues won't quite match, but okay. So I do want to keep them away from the edge because of course I have that around the edge. So for now I want to keep them just in the center. And what I'm going to do next is peel off everything back here. And then I can just place it down in place. And when you have this many pieces, you do want to make sure that you get that peeled off of each piece, because you sure wouldn't want to have a spot that's not sticky. Okay, so now I'm going to, I do like to have this cut to size. It's close, because that way I can see under here and see exactly where it's going to go. If you don't do that, if you don't have an exact size, and you're guessing where it's going, that makes it a little difficult. But look at that. How cool is that? Okay, so then we just have to finish putting the rest of the card together, and that's going to be the... All right, so we have all of our pieces now. This is the background we're going to use. This is from that same kit that we were talking about, and I decided to go ahead and use another one of the cards because the colors coordinate. And so we've got our shaker piece already done. That's going to go on there. He's going to sit on here. And this little piece I went ahead and did a head because I told you it has to dry. You can see I still have some speckles of white powder that got on there because I didn't let it dry long enough before I embossed it. And that's going to go here in the corner. Okay, so really quickly, this is easy to put down with green glue, just because it's going to be hard to get a good, if you tried to use this adhesive, you would have trouble getting good pressure on that because it's not solid. So I do like to just throw some green glue on there to put that together. Isn't that fun? Isn't making shaker cards a lot of fun? So easy to do. Okay, and then I am going to use a glue dot because I don't want to use green glue because it won't stick to the window sheet. So I'm going to put a glue dot behind this little guy, and I might put one down here as well. And we'll just stick him there. And I don't want him to cover up all of those little stars, so let's stick him there. And I might tie that again just because I did a terrible job on camera. And then we're ready to stick this on here, and I'm going to do the same thing in the two corners here. I'll just put 2 glue dots. And then maybe one down here where it will stick on the window sheet. And there we go. How cool is that? So I don't know about you, but I love those 2 sets together. And I just had a fun time with these colors. I will definitely use these colors together again. And I hope you enjoyed that. So don't forget, leave a comment if you'd like to place an order. You've got my website right here, stampincindy.stampinup.net. If I move the scissors, you can see that better. I appreciate you joining me, and if you don't have a demonstrator, I would appreciate you ordering from me as well if you want any of the supplies that I showed you today. So have a great day. Take care. God bless.